You create what you are, and you are what you create. Your life is what you allow it to be. If you're new, hi, I'm Allie. I talk about things self growth, self improvement, and altogether growing as a person and changing your reality. It is essential to know that whatever you have in your life, you have chosen or you're currently choosing. There's a quote that says, whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. And every action that you take counters another action. So if you do something positive, that counters a negative aspect in your life. And if you do something negative, that reinforces the habit and makes you more likely to do that thing again. When I say you are what you create, I also mean you are what you consume. You are what you watch, buy, consume, create, everything you think and everything you see. That is what you become. This is one reason why I like meditating, because I get to observe my thoughts and see who I am as a person. Along with this, you are not your thoughts, you are the thoughts that you act on. And I'm going to say that again. You're not your thoughts, you're the thoughts that you act on. You can't control usually the first thing that pops into your head, but you can control the second, third, or fourth thing, and you can control how you act on it. In fact, your body won't be able to do anything without your mind allowing it to. Every action you take is already approved by your mind. If your mind doesn't want you to do something, then your body won't be able to do it on its own. Your mind and body are interconnected, but your mind is ultimately the one in control, which is why it's essential to train your mind. Along with what you put into your mind, I have a quote from this book. It's called New TNT Miraculous Power Within You by Prentice Hall Sherman. And I'll read you a quote from that. What you put into your mind in the nature of your thoughts and feelings, desires or fears, is what subsequently materializes for you in your outer world. You should therefore accept this basic fact. As your thoughts change, the events in your other world change too. Say, for example, if you want something that you've never had before, you have to be able to do something that you've never done, because nothing changes if nothing changes. So change your thoughts, and your material world will change. Even better, if you change your thoughts to be more positive, then your material world will change for the better. And if you practice gratitude with this, you'll see the good in everything. Number 2, no more victim mindset. No more. I am so tired of it. I'm tired of hearing people complain about their privileges. For example, I know a lot of people my age have heard this or have said this themselves, but when people complain about work in school, I know that work in school can be difficult, but it is a little tone deaf if you think about it on the grander scale of things. Because there are people in other countries who wish they could have a fraction of your education, of your privilege. There are people who are complaining about gym class when you are literally lucky to have all your limbs, all your coordination, and be able to move the way you do. You're so lucky that you have the ability to move your body, and you're taking it for granted. When you implement gratitude and realize how privileged you actually are, it makes it easier to do the hard things. But those are just examples. And those things aren't hard. Do you know what is hard? Is losing your parents. What's hard is not having a home. If you have a roof over your head, that is already something to be grateful for. If you have just one friend or even one family member who is looking out for you, that is something to be grateful for. Know your privilege. I could talk about the victim mindset a lot, but the victim mindset is basically saying that you're unable to do anything because life is too hard for you, or that it's not fair, or you weren't given the perfect situation for something. And no, many people will not receive the perfect situation. And some will be successful all their life, but I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about you have the resources right now to start doing whatever you want to do, which brings me to my next point. Create more. Passion is dying, literally dying today, especially with the rise of being nonchalant. I freaking hate nonchalant people, bro. And not people who are naturally nonchalant, but when you remove your passion or remove any self-expression because you want to be seen as cooler. So it actually doesn't make you cool. It makes you seem like you have no plans for your future. People think that the opposite of depression is joy, but the opposite of depression is expression. We are not taught expression in school nearly enough as we should be, and so that is why it's important to have hobbies that give your self expression on your own time, specifically artistic ones such as drawing or writing. But it could be anything, just something that you create instead of something that you consume. When you start expressing yourself, you'll suddenly feel a lot happier. Along with expression is authenticity. Don't express yourself to show other people, but to do it for yourself. If you draw, that doesn't mean you have to show other people your drawings. If you write, you don't have to show anyone what you're writing about. You don't even have to tell other people that you're doing those things. You just have to do them. Being authentic when you express yourself is doing it in a way that's not to perform for other people. And many people get confused by this, so I'll try to explain it. For one, say like a boy goes into a cafe and he has like a poetry book, but he deliberately sits in the middle of the cafe so everybody knows that he's reading poetry. Wow, he's so sensitive. Like, no, stay away from me. And you know he's like, that's the first time he picked up that book in like a month. When finding a source of expression, do it for yourself and not other people. Ask yourself that question every time. Another example is kind of a controversial one. If you label yourself as a thought daughter, but all you do is repost the same trending metaphors over and over again until they lost all meaning, are you really a thought daughter or are you just a consumer? Think about that one. And I'm not here to shame anyone. I'm just saying you should be self aware on whether what you're doing is authentic or performative. Lastly, your mind controls what you're around. You control everything in your universe, so you do not have excuses. You always have the resources to be successful. You just need to look for them. When I say your mind controls what you're around, it's also what you allow. You allow yourself to be in the situations that you're in now, and your actions show what you resonate with. Environment is very important to developing a growth mindset, and if you don't have a good environment, that's something that you yourself need to fix. This goes back to the victim mindset, where you can't just wait for a better environment, you have to either leave or create one for yourself. Leaving could be distancing yourself from negative actions, behaviors, or other people. But always, before you blame other people, take a look at yourself. Become self aware instead of blaming other people for your problems all the time. Because if all you do is blame other people, you're acting like a victim. And if you're a victim, you can't control what's going on in your life until you'll eventually end up miserable. However, if other people really are holding you back, distancing yourself is the best approach. As I said before, you 100% have the resources within your reach to start doing whatever you're passionate about. So start doing that. Watch as your life starts coming together when you believe that you can and you don't take disrespect. Whether it's through your mind or through your body, be careful about what you consume. Do your best to have a fulfilled life. I hope at least one aspect of my video resonated with you. Thank you so much for watching. Remember that you are what you create and you create what you are. Take time out of your day to be passionate about something. Be chalant and authentically express yourself. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.